So you're getting milk from this disease-laden animal. The milk itself is poison, effectively, giving you all types of health problems, and you think you're drinking coffee. You're not. If you're drinking coffee, it means you're drinking black coffee.
This is the Kevin Trudeau Show.
I am exposing the corruption in government and in major multinational corporations. We're telling you the things that they don't want you to know that will make your life better.
Coffee drinkers. Oh boy. Everyone's like, uh-oh, he's going to tell me don't drink coffee. No. I'm going to tell you drink coffee. Coffee is good. Organic coffee is better, but good quality coffee is great. If you are a coffee drinker, maybe you drink Starbucks. First off, let's define coffee. You know, when I say, do you drink coffee? Someone says, yeah, I drink coffee. Okay. Do you drink coffee black? Oh, no. I have lattes. Okay, we're not drinking coffee. You're drinking milk. You're drinking milk that's not organic, that's loaded with, that comes from cows that have been injected with bovine growth hormone. It's been homogenized. It's been pasteurized. It's loaded with all types of chemicals because the cow that the milk comes from has been injected with antibiotics, which is now in the milk that's in your coffee. The milk comes from a cow that doesn't move. It's fed genetically modified corn. Cows don't eat corn in real life. And they're fed a commercial feed designed to make the cow get fatter, faster, and produce more milk. Completely unnatural. Some of the ingredients in the commercial feed that dairy cows eat, by the way, are ground up dead pigs, horses, cows, goats, chickens that have all been diseased, which means they're not fit for human consumption. So when those animals or animal parts are not fit for human consumption, they grind them up, they put them in the feed that goes to the cows. Cows are vegetarians, they're supposed to be eating grass. So you're getting milk from this disease-laden animal. The milk itself is poison, effectively, giving you all types of health problems, and you think you're drinking coffee. You're not. If you're drinking coffee, it means you're drinking black coffee. But let's stop. What's the number one ingredient in coffee? Black coffee. Now, whether it's espresso or drip coffee, doesn't matter, or a French press. The number one ingredient, you think it's coffee beans, ground up coffee beans. No, the number one ingredient is water. So what is the quality of the water you're using? So many people just go to the tap. They may drink bottled water or filtered water, but then when they make coffee or tea, they just go to the tap. The problem with the tap water is it has chlorine in it. I am in an undisclosed location, which is quite beautiful with palm trees. Every restaurant that I've been into, I said, do you have bottled water? No. I said, why? I said, every place I've been to, nobody has bottled water. Oh, because the water here is so pure and beautiful. It's the highest rated water. We don't need bottled water because the tap water is very healthy. I says, really? It has chlorine in it. Oh, no, it doesn't. I says, hold on a minute. So I go on the internet. See, it's got chlorine. They don't put fluoride in the water here, but they put chlorine in the water, and chlorine is a deadly poison. How do we know this? Because chlorine kills bacteria and virus. It kills 99.999% of all bacteria and virus. Bacteria and virus are living organisms. So chlorine kills living organisms. You are a living organism. So chlorine is going to kill you too, a little bit. You're not going to die by drinking a little bit of the chlorine in the water. But when you bathe in water that has chlorine in it, if you shower in water, it gets on your skin. Your skin is the largest eliminative organ in the body. Whatever you put on the skin is absorbed into the body. You get dry skin, causes all types of health problems, messes up your hormone levels, messes up your sleep, messes up your sex hormones. So guys, affects erectile dysfunction. And then it screws up your hair. You always know when you have a bad hair day. I can always tell. Oh, someone said, I have a bad hair day today. A gal would say. I said, okay, the reason is today the amount of chlorine in the water that you showered in was higher than normal. So therefore you had a bad hair day. So number one, if you're going to drink coffee, make sure that the water is purified water. There's a lot of different types of water, and this is not going to be a show on water today, but you have spring water, you have distilled water, you have filtered water. Those are the three main kinds of water. I'm a believer in natural spring water because this is what nature intended humans to drink. Natural spring water. Some spring waters, you could argue, are better than others. They have different tastes because they have different mineral concentrations and different pH alkalinity levels. But spring water is my ideal. Distilled water, which is basically steam distillation, you take water, you boil it, the steam comes up. When the steam comes up, there's no minerals in it. It's pure water, H2O, but there's nothing else in it. And then it condenses down and you have distilled water. Seems pretty pure, but distilled water doesn't exist in nature. And when you drink distilled water, it will leach all the minerals out of the joints and so forth. So as a therapeutic practice, if you have a lot of joint pain, for a week or two to drink only distilled water is okay. But you shouldn't be drinking distilled water all the time. It's going to leach minerals out of your body, not very healthy. Then you have purified water or filtered water. There are different types of filters. There's charcoal filters. There's activated charcoal, which means it is impregnated with silver. Then you have reverse osmosis and other types of filtration systems. They get out some of the chlorine, some of them get out some of the fluoride, some of the heavy metals, cryptosporidium, viruses, bacteria. Some filters are better than others. The big problem with filtered water is how often do you change your filters? Because if the filter is capturing all these contaminants that are in your water, when was the last time you changed that filter? Because every day it continues to get clogged with all these contaminants. Kind of like a vacuum cleaner. I remember I had a Kirby vacuum cleaner salesman come to my house. This Kirby vacuum cleaner, man, it had suction like out of control. It had a big old bag. It was designed back in the 50s, made of like steel, weighed 100 pounds. It will last forever. You can give it to your grandkids and great-great-grandkids. It'll last forever. It's a great, long-lasting unit. And this guy put some dirt down, and he said, okay, now take your vacuum cleaner and vacuum. So I vacuum. He says, now let me take the Kirby. And he vacuums. He goes, now let me show you how much dirt that was left after you vacuumed that my vacuum cleaner picked up. And he opened up the bag, and there was dirt there. It was a brand new bag when he started. There was nothing in it. And I said, well, that's terrific, but that was a brand new bag. Once you use that bag one day, it's now clogged. You're not going to get the same suction tomorrow or the next day, are you? You're going to have to replace the bag virtually every day. As a matter of fact, an hour after you start vacuuming, the bag is going to start getting clogged and your suction is going to go down, isn't it? And he had to admit, yes. And so then I looked at a rainbow unit, which has water. Because there was no bag, the suction never went down. I wound up getting both, of course, so I could have both in my house, which was silly. Should have bought just the rainbow, which is an excellent unit. And I'm sure there are other great vacuum cleaners as well that don't get clogged, that maintain their suction. But the point is filtration systems lose their ability to filter. All the testing is done on day one. It's not done 6 months after you have the filter. If you start testing your water like I did with different filters a week or 2 or 3 or 2 months or 3 months or 6 months after you have it, it's not the same quality of water that's coming out of the filter, which is why I'm a big believer in my house. You have the ideal scene in my opinion is if you have the money, you get a whole house filtration unit. There's a lot of companies out there that sell them. I go to my friend that I've known since 1979, Fred Van Loo. And we argue all the time. He has a different opinion about water, but I still go to him. I mean, he's trying to sell things to keep his business going, like everybody, and he's passionate, but we argue and have different opinions. But I get a whole house filtration system which has granular activated charcoal, which means it's impregnated with silver, has a post-filter and a pre-filter, and when the water goes through, it takes out most of the contaminants, chlorine and fluoride. The big things you want to get out is the chlorine and the fluoride. Okay, that's your whole house system. So now the water that you're actually washing your clothes in is filtered. There's no chlorine or fluoride, which means that's not going to be in your clothes or on your sheets against your skin. I also get a shower filter in addition to go in my shower. So after the water goes through the whole house system, it goes through another filter when I shower. And I replace that shower filter once a year automatically. Always. And then the whole house system gets backwashed and cleaned out once a year as well. That's what I do. You can also get a reverse osmosis unit under your sink so you can have the best drinking water. And that's very cost effective because you don't have to go be buying bottled water. However, I'm a believer that the water that I drink should be spring water. I believe that there's different types of, well, we all know, it's not a belief. We know that different springs have different mineral contents. So I drink Icelandic water, Voss, there's water from Hawaii, different kinds of waters that I drink that are spring waters. And then I also drink a filtered, structured water called wata. I do that as well. And I mix them up. So I go back and forth. So the point is, when you're drinking coffee, you got to make sure that your water in there is pure water. Whether it's filtered water, whether it's spring water, it's got to be pure water, not distilled water. Your coffee beans, okay, if you want to get organic coffee beans, you know they're organic. There's no pesticides and herbicides on the beans. They're really good. If you're getting a high grade coffee that's not certified organic, such as Jamaican Blue Mountain, 100% extra fancy Jamaican Blue Mountain, which means the beans are perfect, they're the highest grade, or 100% extra fancy Kona coffee. Another good coffee is Ethiopian coffee. Another good coffee is Colombian coffee. Another good coffee is Costa Rican coffee, Guatemalan coffee. My preferences are Jamaican Blue Mountain, Kona, and Ethiopia. That's what I have as a preference. Everyone has a different preference. But in those countries, you're not going to get certification for organic. But they're pretty much organic, even though they're not certified organic, which means they don't have pesticides and herbicides on them. Okay, so now we have our coffee beans, and now we have our water. Perfect. Drink your coffee. But you say, I need something to sweeten it up with. Don't use artificial sweeteners like aspartame or NutraSweet or sucralose or any of that stuff. Any artificial sweetener is deadly. It's a poison. It's going to make you gain weight. You want to use a natural sweetener. I would recommend against honey because when you heat honey, it becomes rancid. Not a good idea. You want to use honey in things that you don't bake with or cook with, generally speaking. It has to be cooler. The best sweetener that you can use is pure, 100% organic cane sugar. Good old-fashioned cane sugar that's been used for thousands of years. It's been the number one sweetener used around the world, and a little bit of cane sugar is perfectly fine to sweeten your coffee. Nothing wrong with that at all. And then somebody says, well, I don't like black coffee. Can I mix a little, milk or cream in it? Absolutely. I would recommend that you get organic milk or organic cream or organic half and half, which is half milk and half cream, that comes from grass-fed cows. That's your ideal. If you can get it that it's not homogenized, it's even better. I'll be talking about that in a little bit. And that's a little bit of that is perfectly fine. Someone says, what about the almond milks and the oat milks and the cashew milks? Fine. Read the ingredients. If you get a organic almond milk or cashew milk or something like this, it should have no more than 3 ingredients in it. Almonds, water, sea salt. That's it. Or 2 ingredients. Almonds, water. Or cashews, water. That's it. There should be nothing else in it. If there's any other ingredients, you don't want it. Now you have your coffee. But there's a challenge. Coffee has something in it, in addition to caffeine, called tannic acid. And tannic acid, I've been talking about this for 30 years, is one of the things used to tan leather. It's in the coffee. The problem is when most people drink coffee, and I fall into this category as well from time to time, you drink it on an empty stomach. When you drink coffee on an empty stomach, the tannic acid goes into your system and it hits the hydrochloric acid that's in your stomach. Your stomach has a digestive acid, a digestive enzyme, but it's an acid called hydrochloric acid. It's in your stomach, and it's there to digest food. When you mix tannic acid and hydrochloric acid together, it forms almost like a cement and it lines the stomach. The problem with that is, not only will it cause stomach problems, but it prevents absorption of nutrients. And it also then prevents, for hours and hours and hours later, the breakdown of food, which leads to gas and bloating, and it leads to weight gain. Don't worry, there is a solution. And it's a simple one. The simple solution is, before you drink your coffee, eat a little bit of protein. Hi, I'm Kevin Trudeau. This is everything they don't want you to know about to improve the quality of your life. Broadcasting every Monday and Wednesday, 2 days a week now. Monday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock Chicago time. Make sure you tune in and subscribe to the channel and share these shows with everyone you know.